Hello, and this is my Facebook live that I do every Wednesday called Wisdom Wednesday. And today I'll be talking about your vibrational match. So are you a vibrational match to your desires and your dreams? This is very important because this comes from a place, this message comes from a place of recognizing that we are fully in control of our lives, that we are not victims in this new paradigm of spirituality. We are taught of quantum physics. We are the creator of our destiny. And there are some issues around this. So I'm going to be talking to you about this. So how often do you truly connect to your most innermost heartfelt desires? So that's the problem. We get so swamped by all the tribulations, the worries, the anxieties, the pressures on us to perform, to multitask, especially as women looking after children or elderly parents or infirm parents, working still and trying to make ends meet. Or even if we're just branching out as we are sometimes, you know, investigating, exploring different ways of creating an income, then sometimes we can feel overwhelmed and pressurized. And this is definitely a vibration that is taking us into what I call, on the emotional scale, into a negative place. And it's not that we don't, you know, and I hear you say, well, I'm not sure whether I can create, because I just feel sometimes so literally submerged and immersed in all this sort of sea, or this churn of mixed emotions. And I totally get it. Because I'm sometimes there myself, because when I don't do the necessary work on my energy. So this comes back to the message that you are only 0.001 or whatever percent matter. The rest, 99.99 whatever, is energy. So we are energetic beings. So there is, and you've got to recognize that we are at the moment in a physical world. We are very much connected to physical, but this takes away our understanding that we are also primarily energetic beings. So when we talk about energy, we talk about the thoughts, we talk about the emotions, we talk about the abstract stuff that's going on below the level of our consciousness. This is all the invisible energy piece. So we irradiate an air resonance, an energetic or vibrational resonance out there. And what happens is that through this, so I always say the law of vibration rules supreme, and that actually is then, you know, the law of attraction is only a secondary thing, because we need to understand where our vibration is, our energetic vibration, being energy beings. And so when we create, so we make, so our thoughts obviously influence our emotions, and our emotions the emotional part of our brain is actually the motivator of action. So what we then do is dictated by our emotions, and you know, and that influences our behavior, and then that influences our experiences. So and all I'm saying is that we need to understand that we are the creators through our emotional set point. So I want you to now understand where your attention is primarily placed. Is it placed on negative circumstances and people in your life? Or are you focused on what's good and what you'd like to create for yourself? So as I said, it's easy to get caught up in this vortex of negativity, especially if you're surrounded by energy draining people. And I know I actually experience it, or more or less on a day-to-day basis. So what can you do to actually separate yourself from that? So if you can't protect your energy, then you need to force a change in your environment. And that takes courage. I get it. It takes courage, you know, but also if we can then link. So in this group of mine, Banquet of Life, I talk about hope at the moment. So hope is really our lifeline to actually raising our energy. So when you add hope into the mix of your desires and intentions, you create a positive momentum. Hope is, I like to say, it's your log in the river of life. So even when it's very turbulent, so cling on to it. use it to help you through the currents, even when it's strong currents, and use that hope to infuse you with this idea that things can be better, because already connecting to that realization that, or that anticipation, that expectation that things can get better, is already taking your vibrational energy up a notch. And, and the longer we can sustain that higher vibration, the more we start effecting change externally. So the change comes from within, and then we project out there, because we are, if you like, source energy, universal energy is like the sun, and we are rays of that sun. So I would like to say then, the stronger that we take the energy from that source, the more we're connected to it vibrationally, the more we can project out there, and then we diffuse that light, that ray, out to others, and we pick up other people, and we they ride along our high energy. So even when people are low energy, either they move into that space of lighter air vibrating energy, or they stay stuck and you just end up parting ways, or you just protect yourself and you move into your own line of creation. So it's important to understand all these things. So I've got a 3-day free workshop that's coming up very, very soon. It starts on the 7th of June, and it's all about, so there's 3 days. The first day we talk all about understanding, how to understand your mind and the different levels of consciousness, even unconsciousness, that's happening. And also how about this vibrational pitch that we have, and how we can influence that to actually track better, to create better circumstances and conditions in our life, and then to actually take us on to the next step. And then I will teach you in the 2 following days how to connect to your aspirations and dreams more positively and more consistently through your passion, through igniting your passion, and also your vision to create your optimum life. So if you are interested in this, then please, I will put the link in the comments on this video. Please do avail yourself. It's free, but it is through a Zoom call, because we do some very proactive, interactive work with one another. It's not me passively. I teach you quite a bit, and you will actually start to understand why you're trapped in your net at the moment, and how you can free yourself, how you can start breaking open that net to free yourself, to liberate yourself, to align to the high vibrational pitch, so that you can start creating that more positive dimension in your life, create that more, that you realize your inner truth, because our inner truth is to be creative, highly creative, and create our positive life.